So this week, we are talking about internet safety, and one of the questions you have asked, why is internet safety important? It's very important that kids are educated about internet safety because there's so many things that can happen over the web. Sometimes, there's sexual predators, there's child kidnappers, there's murderers, there's just cyberbullying. There's so many things that can happen. So it's very important to make sure that our children are aware of all of these. In the article, youth safety article, it talked about the cyberbullying, it talked about sexual solicitation and unwanted exposure, and the roles of privacy. When I went to do my certificate through the NESMART website, it talked about all those things too, just more in depth, and you took the quizzes and stuff and you got the certificate. But I think it's useful in a classroom to teach children internet safety because most schools now use iPads or they use computers. They also have cell phones. I mean, kids in grade school have cell phones nowadays. So it's really important to make sure that students are aware of all the difficulties and different things that can happen. You don't ever want to put yourself in a situation where you can't get out of it and it's too late, like meeting people online and actually going to meet them in person and not letting an adult know. You just want to make sure that kids are safe and that they're aware of the different ways that they can be solicited, and like once you put a picture online, it's never really gone. I mean, you can delete it, but if people have already copied it, if they've already taken it, and plus copyrights and all of that stuff, it's really important to know the boundaries on what you need to do when you are in the internet. And I think in my classroom, I think it'll be a great thing because I know my children, even young in grade school, they actually they use computers all the time and they have to be real careful. I know an incident when my son was in middle school. He let a kid at lunch use his school computer because the kid didn't have his, and he downloaded stuff on it, and my son's computer got taken away and he almost got in trouble. Luckily, there was camera footage that proved my son didn't do it. My son didn't know the other child's computer had been taken away from the school because of downloading pornography on it in middle school. So you have to teach them. Even though my child was taught that, he knew this kid, that he was a friend, so he thought it was okay, and it wasn't okay. But my son learned a valuable lesson. He doesn't let anyone touch his electronics, and he definitely doesn't download anything on the school computers because you can get in trouble. You can be prosecuted. There's been incidents that they've done child porn rings, and a child who had never even had sex had looked at child porn, and his IP address had been caught, and because of that, at 13 years old, he became a registered sex offender, which will affect him for the rest of his life, even though he had never actually had sex, but he was looking at kid porn. So it is very important that we teach our kids about internet safety so that they can be safe and they're aware of everything around them.